We certainly don't know what happened that night. There are still some interesting things to be said, and one of the people saying them is this fellow over here, Juan Williams, who had a very interesting article in the Wall Street Journal this week, in which you said that basically that it's just much more complicated than people are portraying it. I want to put up on the screen a quote from your article. You wrote, "The Martin case is very different from the Emmett Till case, in which a white segregationist Mississippi society approved the murder of a black child. Black America needs to get out of the rut of replaying racial injustices of the past." Explain.
Well, you know, it's such an overwhelming situation today in terms of black and white America, but if you look at it, it's totally different than the civil rights history. And yet, because the narrative is so familiar to so many people, people keep trying to fit things into that narrative, and they want to make the Trayvon Martin case into an exemplar of the kind of injustice that took place 50 years ago. It is not. It is about a situation in which you have today, to my mind, a horrific situation down in Florida in which a young black man, I think, you know, a guy with iced tea and Skittles is walking along in his hoodie, and this guy, for some reason, views him as suspicious. I don't know if it's racial. He definitely viewed him as suspicious, refused to follow instructions from a 911 operator. So I think people fear for their children, black, white, Hispanic. What if my kid is seen in this way and it ends up in this kid's tragic death? But the larger point for me is this, that you look at the kind of images of young black people on TV today, the pants down, the do-rag, this is all jailhouse fashion. Nobody says a word about it. Nobody says a word about the fact that almost half of the murders in the United States are of black people, and 90% of them are committed by other black people. What is this carnage in the black community in Chicago, Philadelphia, Detroit, every day of the week? And nobody has a march for them. It's outrageous. You know, people talk about the larger context, the bad schools. Where are the marches against the schools that are failing these kids that lead to the 40% unemployment rate for black teens in this country? To me, this is the civil rights challenge of this generation, yet people want to replay what was happening 50 years ago, Chris.